All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the crypto market review by the Alpha Trades community. First things first, I just wanted to show y'all real quick how our gains review section was doing. These are all the paid side of the members who have been putting in their reviews of how our trades, how our analysis has been helping them put on positions or de-risk their portfolios. So you could see we've been doing this for a while. You can take this gains review section all the way back to 2018, 2019. And we've been consistently trading the crypto markets since then. So if you are interested in joining our community and you're having a tough time in the crypto markets, you can join our community right here at thealphatrades.com. You can hit the products page right here and sign up for our Advantage membership subscription, which is $97 per month. You're probably wondering, what the hell do you get for $97 per month, right? That's a lot of money. Well, I'll show you. You get access to our private Advantage community, which is our Discord channel. And as you can see, there's little locks on these channels right here, okay? All these locks signify that once you become a paid member of $97 per month, you get access to all these locked areas, in which the Advantage announcements area is probably the most important, which is where we make announcements of what's happening in the market, as well as 2 videos every single day. Okay, all these videos that you could see, right? You can go back several weeks, several months. During the day, when I have live analysis of what's happening in the market, I'll put up updates like this to talk about exactly what I'm seeing in the market. You could see, as you zoom back, you can go back days and weeks and months, and you'll see analysis that will basically help you on a day-to-day basis. Now, obviously, none of this is supposed to be financial advice. So all I can do is show y'all exactly what I'm doing personally, okay? So you can see all this stuff going back. Now, one thing you'll see in common is this kind of 5K account challenge, right? You'll see account value 27,000. This is the challenge that I had started with my Advantage members in 2021, where we began the beginning of the year last year at $5,000, and we ended the year, okay? We ended the year at $26,880, which is a total P&L of 438% gain, okay? We closed out the year that way. We took out that profit, and now we're starting a new challenge, okay? 2022, as you can see, we started off with $5,000. We had a rocky road at the middle of the first half of the month, and now we're sitting at about $4,200 as of yesterday. So you can see we are making some decent progress, slowly grinding this account back up. But what you always got to keep in mind is contextually, how is your account doing relative to if you were just holding BTC, right? So as of right now, if our account is at, say, $4,200, we're down about maybe 15, 17%. Well, BTC from the yearly open, so if I were to just put $5,000 in BTC, right, I would be down 20%. So you could see we're technically beating the market in a sense by not being down as much as BTC, okay? You could obviously say, well, what if you looked at FTM or Atom or Ethereum or Polkadot? Well, some of those you might be at flat or break even since the beginning of the year. Some of them you actually might be down 30 or 40% since the beginning of the year, okay? But we benchmark our gains against BTC because it's the largest institutional and most liquid market cap asset. It's the same way how people in the stock market would benchmark their gains against, said, the S&P 500, which is really the index that controls and gathers what exactly is the market benchmark. Okay. So I just want to show you all those two challenges real quick. I want to show you all our Advantage membership real quick. Let's get started with what's happening in the market. First, lots of drama happening within the crypto space regarding Danielle, his Frog Nation, projects like Wonderland and Time. I think, in some way, obviously, that stuff is related to Abracadabra, Spell, FTM too. I know he's involved in Phantom as well. A lot of that is under fire because Danielle is accused of sort of working with the team member 0x Sifu, who is supposedly the guy from Quadriga. If y'all remember Quadriga, that was the exchange in Canada that scammed people out of $150 million. And so that person, Danielle, is supposedly working with him on these other projects. So you could kind of see it gives a very, very shady look to exactly what's happening, within that whole ecosystem of the Frog Nation crap that's going on. So I would be very, very careful of recognizing that anything attached to 0x Sifu and then Danielle, those projects might be under scrutiny over the next few days, and price action for them, like Wonderland, Time, and Phantom and Spell, they might actually just go down because people don't want to be associated with, basically people working with scammers or people like Danielle harboring scammers, if you will. Okay, so be very, very careful in those projects, okay? Now, that aside, I think yesterday's day was probably the most important day because of the idea that the Fed was talking, the FOMC meeting happened, and they really didn't say anything super positive, but I don't think they said anything really negative for, market purposes. As of right now, I think the markets as a whole are still looking pretty rough. I don't really know what's going to change that and turn it around, other than just maybe seeing a deeper, more accelerated flush on the way down. And that could be for S&P 500, that could be for other altcoins, that could be for BTC as well. Now, BTC itself is sitting at a very, very crucial area, which is, as you could see, it is hovering under the key weekly SR level of 38,200 and slightly above 32,200. So between these two pockets right here, this is no man's land. Until price breaks above this area, right, we don't really have clarity if we're going to head back up. As long as we stay here, okay, probabilities are high that we test the low of this area around at least 32,000, maybe even taking out these lows around here, which is around $27,000 to $28,000. So keep that in mind. Now, the other way I look at the market is this parallel channel that we had for several months from April all the way to September that we broke out from. I don't see any reason why we cannot come back to this channel over the next, coming months. And then once again, sort of reaccumulate in this area and then break out. What else is around that area is the 200 weekly EMA. Okay, so as you can see, the 200 weekly EMA, this yellow line, is currently around $24,000, $25,000. So in the coming weeks, obviously, I expect this EMA to somewhat, climb up like this, right? And that might meet price somewhere around $26,000, $27,000. In which case, if we bounce off the 200 weekly EMA, that has historically been areas where we find the bottom, really, of the bottom of the bear market, if you will. You can see if you go back in time and we turn on this 200 weekly EMA, headed back all the way to 2015, we found a bottom right there. Back in 2018, we broke below the 200 weekly EMA for several weeks, reclaimed it, retested it again in March 2020, and then took off. So you could see maybe there's a possible reasoning for price to come back towards $25,000, $26,000, $27,000, which is where this 200 weekly EMA is. Okay. Now going back to the smaller timeframes of BTC, right? Daily basis, I think we look a little bit, cooked around this area, heading to a low of about 32,000 or 33,000 on this wick down here, and then heading back up to about 38 and some change. That kind of looks like a rejection of this key SR level, 37, 38 K. If this is the case, right, and we start rolling over from here, like I said, look out for this 33 low to be hit, and or possibly lower in a big sort of final capitulation like scenario. Okay, so keep that in mind. I don't know if that's going to happen right now, because the way I'm looking at the market on a weekly or a monthly basis, I feel like we've come pretty darn hard in the month of January. And February, what we might have is maybe, I don't know, some inside candle, some consolidation. Maybe we head back up to 40, 42K. And then after that, obviously, headed into March or April, or even the second half of this year, at some point, I will say, I expect this low to get revisited and taken out. Okay. I don't know how deep it's going to go. I don't know what kind of brutal sell-off we're going to have to the downside, but at the very least, I expect this low to be hit. Now, us on the advantage side, what we're really doing right now is in the 5K count, right? We had a bunch of short positions, which we closed out of, and then long positions, which we quickly scalped and closed out of. We're really just sitting tight and waiting for the market to kind of show us what kind of direction, what kind of maybe strength it has. As of right now, there's really not a whole lot. BTC is really moving right along the side of what's happening in the stock market. And the stock market is also not looking too good. The S&P 500 and then the NASDAQ index. So I would say as we head into the tail end of the month, I don't think there's really any unnecessary risk or bigger size positions that you have to take. I think you just got to sit tight and wait patiently to see what February is going to bring up. And if I'm not mistaken, I do think that February might bring some quick, scalping opportunities. I don't really know if February and March are going to be the beginning of a new bull market or anything as such. I think we're probably just still going to be downtrending. Okay, because as you can see, BTC has been trending down for the last 2.5 months. And really most altcoins have either been going sideways, like Phantom over here, or let's just say, something like Solana, which has technically been also going down for almost 2.5 months. Now you could make the argument that, okay, well, Solana has hit, key area of support around $70, $80. Now we should head back up towards 120, right? Because that's the previous SR level, which we sort of broke down from. So that's one argument that could be made. You could say, I'm going to go long here. I'm going to have my stop just below the low a couple of days back right there. And I'm going to take this first target profit right into this 120, 125 area. Okay. I think that's fair, right? If you think that we're oversold on some of these altcoins like Solana or Compound, or even, One Harmony, which looks aggressively oversold, maybe you might aim for a temporary, move back up. I understand that. Okay. But as of right now, just remember on the long side, the momentum is really against you. If anything, what you can do is wait for the market to pop up, right? So yesterday I pointed out to my Advantage members that, in this area right here for Matic, this could be actually a shorting opportunity. And as you can see, Matic sort of came down hard after it printed this high of the wick and came down hard in the rest of the day. Let me show you on an hourly time frame how that looked. Right, you could see right there, Matic went up into that box, cleared probably a bunch of shorts, but then completely collapsed on the way down, headed all the way down to $1.50, all the way from $1.83. It went down, all the way to $1.50. So you can kind of see many of the altcoins right now, they possess this kind of, very weird looking structure where they're really just retesting the previous daily supports that they broke through. Now they're testing them as resistance. That's as simple as, looking at the market and saying, okay, well, if this is resistance, I sell or short here. And this is happening with many, many altcoins. AVAX, similar, right? If you see a pop up into $80 or something, that could be a shorting opportunity. Luna, I think Luna is already sort of broken down through 75, which is the first KSR level, and now broken through 66. I would say Luna also probably destined, for lower prices. Atom, same thing, right? Retested this $30 weekly low, also at the high, right? This $38. We're not able to get up towards that high, but Atom looks like this is the range high. This is the range low of the distribution, right? Atom went this low, came back, retested it as resistance, and then now selling off. So in my opinion, a lot of these altcoins actually look like they're in a larger distribution-like structure, in that this is probably the range high right here. This is the range low. This is your excess of people who got trapped down here. But the fact that this move happened, this is the break in structure, right? The break in structure of these clean higher lows that things were creating. But now this looks like a clear Wyckoff sort of distribution structure to me. Okay, so that's something that we need to keep in mind, is that these altcoins, they may chop around up here, but they actually might be in a very, very large range-like distribution. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, one thing that we talk about in the Advantage side, the private Discord side, is what are we looking forward to ahead of 2022, right? Like, what do we expect? Because we don't expect the whole year to be really shitty, okay? I expect a couple of months here and there to be crappy, but then other opportunities will present themselves. So first things first, what I talked about, I have a predictions newsletter, and the link is below in the YouTube description, is I talk about things, what I expect happening in 2022 from the stock market perspective, but also from the crypto perspective, right? All this stuff I mentioned before the beginning of the year happened, which was we had a tremendous 2020, a 2021, amazing year as well. I don't think we're going to just be in a straight up only mode. I talked about how many of the altcoins, BTC, Ethereum, all included, they put in insane returns. So I expect 2022 to give back some of those returns, or a return sort of to the mean, really. So that means that if some altcoins, or most of the market cap of crypto, put in 50, 100, 200% returns, well, I expect 2022 to give back some of those returns. So possibly, I don't know, the market cap shrinks from the highs about 40 or 50%. Or from beginning of the year of 2022 to the end of the year, maybe we only grow by like 5 or 10%, okay? So you could kind of see that's sort of coming true, because basically since the beginning of the year, even since December, we're just really headed down in Bitcoin and many other altcoins. But what else is going on? Well, you can start doing research in some of these assets that I mentioned. If you look at GameFi and Metaverse, we wrote a pretty deep research article right here. You can click on it. And we talked about some of the assets associated with those particular areas. Axie Infinity, DeFi Kingdoms, Cosmic Universe, Treasure DAO. These are all assets that are on my radar for the GameFi Metaverse side. Internet of Things is also an area that I'm particularly interested in which Helium and Render Token are two of the assets that you should be looking into. And then, of course, I have this whole list of prices and assets that I'm paying attention to, or some of which I may be owning. Okay, so full disclaimer, I may own some of these assets. So these are the things that you need to be paying attention to in 2022. Don't just be bummed that your assets are going down and this is a bear market. It doesn't matter, okay? If you believe in crypto and you believe that it's an innovative and disruptive asset class, at some point in 2022 or 2023, some of these assets are going to go back up to insane highs, insane multiples. You just need to figure out, where is the market going? And that's where the real alpha is. And that's where our community is going to deliver that alpha to our paid members, okay? So within this article, there's a lot of hints and clues that I've dropped. Then there's other things, right? There's another part of the space that I don't believe most people are paying attention to, which is options world, right? DeFi options, structured products, these things, in my opinion, are also going to be a focus of revenue raising, fundraising for 2022 crypto projects. Some of the most popular projects I'm sure you guys have heard of, things like DopeX, I'm sure heard of PERP protocol or DYDX, right? These are sort of decentralized exchange protocols, but I think they're trying to also build in options mechanisms. Hedgic is another one. You can kind of look at this image right here. Premia, Lyra, Hedgic, DopeX, these are really the top tier ones. And then in the Solana ecosystem, right, you actually have things like Katana and Friction. So that's these two products right here. So I've been using these as well, Katana. So you have these structured, products where you can build covered call options here. The strategies are already laid out for you. So all you really do is you plug in your Solana or whatever asset, and you're really betting on whatever the strategy is, okay? Same thing with Friction, okay? You can do the same thing. You can look at all the different strategies that are there, covered calls, right, for Luna or Solana or Serum, and you put your money into that particular strategy. So I believe that these assets within the options world are going to have a decently large impact in the coming year of 2022. I think they're just going to be breaking their way in 2022, but in 2023, I think it'll be in a very, very big way. So definitely something that you want to focus on. Now, other things that are happening in the market, of course, we know very well that as per our global charts, open interest has been coming down since November. If you were part of the Advantage community, we talked about this, right? Open interest was topping off. We expect open interest, which is again, really just futures volume, right? Open interest is nothing but futures contracts. We expected open interest to drop by 50 to 60% from these highs right here in November. So the high was around $53 billion, right? 50 to 60% drop. I expect this to come somewhere around the $22 billion area. Currently, open interest as of today is around 27 billion. So another maybe 5 to 6 billion being chopped off the market in terms of open interest. That, in my opinion, will probably be good for the market to bounce back up. Other things that are happening on my radar, I don't really see, a whole lot going on in the order books of FTX. It seems like things are relatively dry. I was kind of looking at, let me see here, FTX and let me see, BTC, right? It seems like maybe a lot of the players right now are kind of just waiting for maybe the month to end. You could kind of see not a whole lot of walls of support, not a whole lot of walls of resistance. I don't know. It seems like maybe the big players right now are just kind of waiting for the move, a big move to happen, or maybe the end of the month flows to come in which case, well, which way and which assets do the end of the month flows bet? Do they keep selling on the way down to de-risk into February? Or are they going to scoop up some of these assets headed into the month of February, right? So that remains to be seen. Let me see here. So I think that about covers everything, right? I think as we head into February, my game plan is to be cautious, short the bounces, really, whatever I see in the market. I'm not really interested in being a full-on bull right now. I know the market has come off the highs quite a bit. I do think that there's probably much more damage, much more pain to probably be felt by altcoins. And I don't really think people realize that, but I will not be, I will not be closed off to the idea that markets can sort of keep gravitating between the highs and the lows of the ranges, in which case you don't want to just be shorting the exact range low. I would say that there's statistically a higher chance that if you long the range lows, whether it's Atom or Solana or 1inch or Matic or any of these, right, you might have a decent probability of catching a little bit of upside. And then once the market gets really euphoric again and it hits key levels of resistance, then you just start going short again. So I think the momentum right now points to the very idea that you probably want to be more short focused with the open-mindedness to go long for quick intraday trades. Again, non-investment advice is just my thought process, okay? So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I hope you found useful information in here. Do come join the Advantage side. You can find our website right here, thealphatrades.com. Join, hit the products page, $97 per month. Honestly, you know, if you're trading even with a couple $1,000s, you can make this up in literally like one trade, you know? So yeah, come hang out with us. All right. See what our community is all about. We've also got a very, very active NFT gaming area. I mean, a lot of NFT projects get discussed here, a lot of DAOs, a lot of gaming metaverse tokens, a lot of cool stuff that we talk about and discuss here. So make sure you all join our community. All right. Come hang out with us. Good luck to you. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Hit the thumbs up on the YouTube video and let me know your thoughts on the market. Let me know what you think is going to be the hottest sector for 2022. What coins I should be looking at, what assets I should be looking at. All right. Cheers, everybody. Take care.